Ray Civello, the president and CEO of Collega International and Aveda Canada, is celebrating the 40th anniversary of his career. And just in time for this milestone, Ray has officially launched his philanthropic book of portraits of the children in Madagascar called One Life. I joined Ray for a chat at his one-night-only pop-up gallery in Toronto, where he spoke to me about his successful years in the biz and the power of teaching and giving back. Check it out. So Ray, congratulations, 40 years.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, we were just chatting for a brief moment before the cameras were rolling, and you said that you really didn't feel what these 40 years have been like. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard just to put, a number around a time period and say, well, looking back at 40 years or 30 years, because immediately when you do that, you almost signal an ending of something.
Mm-hmm.
There was a beginning and an end, and for me, there's a continuum. So if 40 years have gone by, mm-hmm. and I'm still here with you, and we are still doing good work with this great show that's coming up tonight, it means that there's a really nice continuum. And 40 years, it's really been about learning and about growing, mm-hmm. and it's about developing an attitude versus reaching some kind of goal at the end of 40 years. So,
But you've got pretty big names associated with your career. You've got Civello Salon, you've got Collega International, you've got Aveda Canada, and you are going into a lot of philanthropic work, which we'll talk about. But speak to me about that part of your career. How did it start, and did you really see it coming to this point here?
Oh God, no. No, I don't think anyone does. I think you just wake up every day and you try to do your best. And I think from a commitment where you have a great deal of passion each day, and you bring that self, that authentic self to your work every day, and you have a strong work ethic. It's something that when we're talking to a lot of 19, 20-year-olds today coming into the industry, it's one of the things that we talk a lot about. It's about having this passion, but it's also about having the drive, and then combining that with a work ethic. A work ethic that's a lot different sometimes than what other people expect. So, I worked 7 days a week, and I did that, worked 80, 90 hours a week, and I did that for many, many years, and I didn't even realize. It took me 7 years to realize I hadn't had a vacation. I didn't know, but I didn't feel like I was missing anything, So I think that those outcomes, salons, distribution, schools, retail stores, all of those things are byproducts of basically coming to work each day to be your best, and then attracting other people who are just like me, who want to do their best every day and make a difference. And so you don't create something like that on your own. It requires a whole army of people, and I'm very fortunate. I've attracted a lot of wonderful people that I've had the opportunity to work with over the last 40 years who have really helped us to become who we are.
No, let's talk about the education part of things, because a lot of people can become experts at what they do. They can become good at what they do, but they don't always have an opportunity to teach their craft, to teach what they know. And that's really been a part of your entire career up until this point. It's going back to a lot of your philanthropic work, which we'll touch on in a second. But how important was it for you to be able to teach what you know and what you do?
It's a great question, because when I started, before I became a hairdresser, I was on my path was to become a school teacher. So it was already, I think, pre-programmed as part of my DNA.
It found its way to you.
It did, and I really wanted to teach, because two of my heroes were my grade 8 teacher and my grade 12 teacher. These guys were amazing men and who really influenced me in a huge way. So I thought I wanted to do the same as them. So after my fourth or fifth year in the hairdressing industry, I was working for John Steinberg in the Rainbow Room, and we had an opportunity for somebody to take over education in the salon, which meant teaching all of these young people. I was already teaching on stage and teaching salon hairdressers North America-wide, but I had not taken on a program where you were teaching young people, and so I gladly accepted the role, and of course that led to all the other teaching opportunities, including global. At one point I was the vice president of education for Aveda globally at one time. So we just finished doing a great curriculum, a barbering curriculum. We just finished doing that, and that's shot this super, cool digital program teaching young people who have never cut hair how to be a great barber.
So and digital's the way to go too.
It's amazing. I mean, they'll have access 24 hours. They can do it as much as they want, as often as they want, when they want. So I'm still very very committed to the learning. I mean, my dad, 91 years old, he says every day is an opportunity to learn something new. Every day. He said, if I have one more breath left, he said, I have one more thing to learn. So,
well, that's such a beautiful way of looking at life.
Life is
not just work, but life.
So teaching is learning.
Exactly. So this is going perfectly, actually, a perfect segue into One Life. So you've got this career, and now you've created this book of portraits. From your travels and your passion, really, to help the children in Madagascar. Talk to me about how you segued into this. This must have been
a little germ of passion just kind of growing in you over the past few years, no?
Well, I started photography in high school. I used to go to weddings, and I was the guy with the Polaroid cameras. And for $2, I could take a Polaroid of you, and you
$2.
Yeah, $2.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was my own business. So
Yeah.
I used to just go to random. I knew where the wedding halls were, and I just show up and try to catch people. I put a suit on.
Yeah.
And then I studied properly and learned how to process film when film was still a big part of what photography was, and applied at Ontario College Bar at one point and thought I would be a photographer. And so it's always been there, and I've always continued to shoot. And so, we had the opportunity to shoot these beautiful children in
We're
Kenya.
just sitting in front of them right now.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. I mean, these are ones, in particular, what's special about them, is the fact that these are children who have benefited from the work that WaterAid has done. And you can see they're happy, you can see they're healthy, and it's in sharp contrast to those who have not been healthy. And we visited both. We went to schools where there was no access to water or toilets. These kids have access to water and toilets, and only in the last 4 years, 3-4 years, has that been their reality. So you see this difference of healthier looking kids, beautiful kids. And so, of course, you look at their complexion and the beautiful sun and the backdrop, and we're able to take. This is not about being a good photographer, this is about just taking pictures. So.
But talk to me about this give back, because we spoke about teaching and being able to share your craft and what you know to budding students and budding people who want to kind of be in that space. But to affect the lives and to have a direct impact on the livelihood, the health, and the wellness of these children. Yeah. Talk to me about how that's kind of shaped you as a businessman, as a career man, as a teacher.
Well, I'm of the belief that if you're fortunate enough in this life and you have a leg up, and most of us who are born in this country, we pretty much have a leg up already on the rest of the world. And I think you have an obligation, if you do well in life, I think you have an obligation to give back, and I think they're in giving back and helping genuinely, because that's truly what your nature is to do. I think it fills you and fulfills you, and I think if we look at purpose of life, I think we recognize that it's innate in all of us, that at some point in our life there's this urge, this desire, this need to want to help other people. So I think, getting a lot of people together at the same time, as we've done here and what we're doing here tonight, and they're all like-minded, wonderfully creative artists coming together with this incredible passion, doing it all voluntarily. These people are all people who charge a lot of money every day by the minute for their services, and they're doing it because they love to share, to teach, and they want to make a difference, and they want to save lives. And so I think that you can the combination of creativity and this passion combined with the desire to do well. I think that they're brother and sister. I don't think you can't separate them. I think they're inseparable, and I think that's what we're witnessing tonight.
Yeah. Well, lastly, if there's any one thing you would want people to take away from the 40 years that you've had in this career so far, and 40 more, what would you want them to take away? What have you learned that you think everybody should learn?
I think that there's a lot of things that were learned. I think that staying true to you is probably the one thing that I work on the most, and in my personal practice is to stay true to me. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, and follow your dream and do it passionately and honestly. And the universe usually paves the road for you to find you, and I think that's the most important thing. I think when you start to chase other people's dreams, and I think when you start to compare and judge yourself, I think you get into a lot of trouble, and I think you lose yourself. I think it's very important to go home every night and take a few minutes out to say thank you for all the wonderful gifts I have, and the people that love me, and know that is such a strong foundation for all of the things that you want to do in life.
Yes. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What a rewarding and self-fulfilling career. Amazing.
Thanks.
Yes.
Appreciate it.